Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So, I haven't posted in a few days, and lately it's because, well, part of me has lost some motivation, and at the same time, every once in a while, when you are around YouTube so much, like in terms of whether you're a content creator or not, and when you're just a fan or whatnot, you kind of see what is going on right in front of your face, and sometimes you just even say, yeah, you ask yourself that one question. It's like, despite the fact that I have a handful of people being absolutely supportive when it comes to this whole thing, and there are a whole bunch of you that I am very blessed to have that are on this channel, that no matter what I post, you will absolutely support it. There are those of you guys that will literally like one of my videos before you, like as soon as you click on it, before you even start watching it, in terms of what I have to say and in terms of whatever I'm making on that day, whether it's a video about Call of Duty or not. You guys, there's a handful of you guys that, or a certain percentage of you guys that watch my stuff, that will absolutely like the video before you even see it, and will click on it no matter what, and all that kind of stuff. And it really is a true blessing to have supporters like that on my channel, even for someone that's as small as me. And I know that the percentage of those people, in terms of, you know, the amount of subscribers that I have, is much lower. I would probably say, out of, like, let's say, I'd probably say maybe a quarter or half of you are that supportive. But regardless, it's just a blessing to have a certain level of support on the channel. But the thing is this: sometimes when you look at the bigger picture and you see what is happening to this platform, and you see what's going on with other content creators out there. Now, I don't wish anything bad, and nor do I want to basically point my finger at any content creator out there that is successful, whether they're big or not or anything like that. I don't wish to point my finger at them and say, oh, shame on you, or to talk bad about them or anything like that. No, I mean, as long as they're not hurting anybody, and as long as they're being honest, I really can't say anything bad about people. But it does get to a point to where this platform and the temptations that come up through this platform, and the success that comes with it, is and there's different versions of this, what I'm going to get into here in a minute. It basically changes the person for the worse, and it changes the level of their basic. It basically changes their content as well, because of what they used to post, and now they're just basically a carbon copy of. They're turning into carbon copies of just other successful content creators, and they don't do anything unique like they used to anymore. And it really is heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's understandable to resist that temptation of success and all the rewards that come with doing something like this, because it certainly does take a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of you got to stick with it. To be successful on this definitely takes a lot of perseverance, and even to a certain extent, it takes a lot of bullshit. And I'm not saying that every single person that is successful is a big bullshitter or whatnot, but you do see a lot of people that were true blue, and they're slowly but surely starting to make that turn in one way or another, and you see signs of it. It may not be fully evident now, or barely evident at all, but if you're looking between the lines, you can start to see it. And you're like, and for someone like me, when you see that, you start to think like, I mean, you watch and you see basically, okay, and let's go also back to basics as well, because I think I explained one aspect of this enough without having to go deeper or to talk shit about anybody specific or anything like that, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to turn into that. But the thing is, you're also looking at the platform itself, like YouTube. It is so PG now, and I just got to make this comparison, and I absolutely don't mean any disrespect whatsoever to anybody who is a fan of wrestling to this day, or that anybody that even used to be a part of wrestling or anything like that. I mean, absolutely no disrespect, but I have to make this analogy and comparison so that way a lot of people can understand, especially those that have been around for both eras. But right now, YouTube is a lot like what the WWE is today. Back in the Attitude Era, okay, for those of you guys that were around during the Attitude Era, holy shit, if you compare the WWE now and compare it to the Attitude Era, oh my gosh, the Attitude Era was so much better and so far ahead of its time and so unique, and compared to what the PG-13 or what the PG era is now, that it's not even funny. It's ridiculous at this point. And therefore, in my opinion, and you can hate on me all you want, and you have your own opinions, and that's great, but because of the reasons of politics and maybe even greed and all that kind of stuff, and try to appease a certain level of audience so that way you can gain more viewers simply because you're a little bit more PG or anything like that, or whatever the deal is, or whatever the politics are behind it, it's pretty hard to argue that WWE itself is not the same as it once was. Okay, and it's slowly but surely becoming something else, and it's not unique anymore, or as unique as it used to be. And also, this platform also, just because of that, and partially because of that, it's limiting content creators from totally being unique. You know, you can't curse, you can't really have adult themes or anything like that anymore. I mean, is anybody really going to listen to an Eminem album that is basically bought from Walmart and is basically like edited, or the non-dirty version, so to speak? Now, I know that there are some unique things out there, like the Limp Bizkit album, Chocolate Covered Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water, that the edited version of that CD is unique in and of itself because of all the different sound bites that they would have in place of all the curse words, which I thought was pretty cool. There was I actually thought that that was their original album, but then once I started realizing that things were edited out, I was like, okay. But you guys get the point here. And the thing is, there are people out there that are not even monetized like myself. Now, I have not been a victim of this, at least not yet, but there are people out there that are not even monetized, that are either getting their channels deleted, and or there are people that are getting like some sort of strike or some sort of limitation or punishment when it comes to, you know, posting a certain kind of video, and they're not even being like hardcore like curse or anything like that, but simply because of the fact that what they're talking about is just like it's just not allowed by the YouTube guidelines anymore, and it's really limiting, and it's limiting the freedom to basically speak your mind to a certain extent, or to be unique with your words, or just to open up the possibilities for the creator. And that's absolutely that's terrible in my opinion. And it's getting to the point to where people are just turning into something completely different, all because of the fact of the temptation and for the money and for wherever the popularity is at, and they're just turning into carbon copies of something else or another creator out there. So they're just not as unique anymore. And the thing is, you've got also another form of toxicity here on the platform, known as clickbaiters, that are gaining in popularity like hotcakes. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know that there are a ton of creators out there that are legit, like they're not clickbait. I'm sure every once in a while that they've done it, at least to a certain extent. Some have never, some have, at least to a lesser extent. But whatever the deal is, clickbait is gaining popularity, and it's absolutely ridiculous in terms of what this is turning into. And the thing is, it also breaks my heart when I see other YouTubers out there that have been doing this for a long time, for like a decade, right? Give or take, and have still not even reached, or not even gotten close to reaching 1 million subscribers. And the reason for that is because they've been honest and they stuck to themselves, and they haven't reached that level of success simply because they want to remain unique to themselves, which, you know, they keep it real, and they're not really sugarcoating anything, which I guess a lot of the population loves it when we sugarcoat things because they simply can't take the truth. And that's the thing. Most people, like my dad used to say, and I'm paraphrasing here because nobody can really replicate what my dad used to say because he was just so damn smart, so damn unique, and so damn real. But the thing is this. People just can't handle the truth, and nor people don't like the truth, because the truth can also be brutal. And that's what the problem is right now. It's been so watered down and everything like that that people are just not, they're just getting weaker and weaker mentally and all these kind of things, and they can't take it. So therefore, you know, obviously smart content creators will take advantage of that to a certain extent, and they'll just roll with the punches. They're going to roll with their limitations, and they're going to keep going forward. And to some extent, I actually have to say that I admire that, because it shows a form of perseverance. It shows that, you know, you're not willing to give up. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it can get to a point. Now, it can get to a point to where you basically start losing your integrity, and it just kind of has a domino effect. And all of a sudden, you can turn into a person that you never wanted to turn into in the first place. But at the same time, it's really difficult to resist that, because you're trying to keep this going, you're trying to keep your dream alive. But at the same time, when all of a sudden they start waving that carrot in front of you, and then if you ever get to a point to where you're offered a sum of money to promote a game, maybe it's not even a game that you don't play so much, or a game that you just have love for, but at the same time you have hate for. I mean, how in the world are you going to talk shit about a game where that feeds you? Like you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's basically the way it goes. So if somebody, a certain creator of a certain game or whatnot, offers you money or offers you something, right? Because you're popular and you're successful and you're and all these kind of things, you know, it's really hard to resist that. And at the same time, even though you may want to deep down inside to talk shit about something that you don't agree with, it's hard to do that, and it's hard to remain true to yourself. Why? Because all of a sudden you know, money and temptation and all these different things, even politics to a certain extent, because, you know, politics pretty much are a little bit into everything, and that's one of the reasons why I don't talk about politics in this channel very much. But the politics of greed and all these kind of things, you know, I'll just call it the Activision effect or whatever, okay? All that stuff plays a role, and all of a sudden things get difficult, and it's really, really hard to talk shit about something that you may not agree with or whatnot. But again, there's always this back and forth. It's like you keep going back and then you go forward, and then you keep getting back and going forward, and then you're starting to turn into a different content creator than you originally wanted to be. And it's just you know, and plus you got toxicity left and right and all these different things. I mean, it's, if you think about it, there's just so much. I mean, I could my head could spin talking about this shit, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, you guys are very sensible people, you're very smart, you can put I've got all sorts of age demographics in my group and everything like that, and the thing is, it's really, when you see all this happening, and especially when you see other people that have been doing this for over 10 years and they're not even close to 1 million subscribers that have managed to stay away from the temptation in one form or another and have remained to be 100% true to themselves, and have moved on either to a different game or a different platform or whatnot. I mean, it's really heartbreaking, especially when some of those people are the ones that were inspiring before all this shit got to the level that it's at today, to where a certain game might be a certain popularity, and before all the politics of greed took over, and before the platform of YouTube has changed from what it used to be to what it is now in terms of being diluted. When you look at these people that started all these things and the ones that have actually remained true, I mean, and now they're gone, it really is heartbreaking. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, if I don't want to be a carbon copy of what content creators are today, and if I don't want to dilute myself, my content, or even my integrity, it's like, why would I stick around? And that's part of the reason why it's really hard for me sometimes to make a video every now and then. And even though I don't make a damn cent doing this, but the thing is, I mean, it's really easy to become that something else. Even if you're not successful right now, it doesn't mean that you can't become successful later in terms of whatever you deem success to be. Some people measure success by money, some people measure success by numbers or whatever it is, but success is what you make it, and success is success in one form or another. And there are multiple ways. I mean, you could be successful in every single possible way possible. But the thing is, when you look at everything, you're like, it really is heartbreaking. I mean, it really sucks when I see a certain YouTuber that I grew up watching and has become an inspiration to me or whatnot in some way, shape, or form, that is no longer around the platform simply because of what that platform has turned into, and what a certain game has turned into, and what the effect it's had on other content creators as well, in terms of how it affects their content and what they can and cannot say or anything like that. It really, you know, it's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. So at the same time, I understand both sides. Okay, I'm not really trying to point my finger at anybody. I'm just basically trying to let it out there, kind of get the thoughts out of my head and let you guys in on it a little bit. And the thing is, all in all though, when it comes down to everything, like I said in the very beginning of this video, there are those of you that are absolutely 100% supportive. Like if I post something else that doesn't involve Call of Duty, I know that there are a handful of you that are always going to watch and are absolutely going to love it. Or even if you disagree, you're still gonna say something. You're still gonna watch the video. You're gonna give me your opinions, and that's what I want. I always want you guys to be real. I wouldn't want to get to a point of success to where my audience all of a sudden is sugarcoating something that I may be wrong in, or something that's not as good as it once was. I want you guys to remain true with me, and that's another thing. I want to remain true with you. And the thing is, with everything that I've just mentioned in this video, it's like sometimes I just sit here and wonder. It's like, if I am going to put my money where my mouth is in terms of what I've been talking about since I've launched this channel, in terms of how I just want to keep it real, it's like, it's really difficult to stick with a platform that is not as real as it once was, and that is diluted in comparison to what it used to be. And again, I had to use that wrestling analogy just so I can give you guys a clearer picture. And again, I do not mean any disrespect towards anybody or any content creator or anything of that nature. This is just something that I had to get out, especially with the communication back and forth on Twitter. And if you want to hate on me, go right ahead. I mean, you have every single right to, but just know that at the very least, I don't mean any disrespect or whatnot. And I'm sure whichever kind of content creator you are, and if you happen to watch this video, whether you're a small guy like me or whether you're extremely successful, or a $1 million channel, or $1 million channel, yeah, sure, $1 million channel, $1 million channel, or a 1 million subscriber channel or whatnot, and you're watching this, I absolutely mean absolutely no disrespect or no ill will or hate towards anybody. I want people to be successful, but at the same time, I mean, if you really look at it and be 100%, 1000% truthful, I mean, we see it. It's right in front of our eyes. It's not what it used to be, and the thing is, it's having an effect, a negative effect in one way or another to content creators and their integrity to a certain extent. For certain content creators, to others it's different things. And eventually, as it keeps going, and if it keeps going in this direction, it's only going to get worse, whether it's at a fast pace or a slower pace. I mean, it really just depends on the content creator and how they decide to flow with the punches. And the thing is, when you put everything together, it's like sometimes you're like, why stick around? Sometimes you just got to say, why stick around? And sometimes I'm barely holding on when it comes to this. Like sometimes I feel like I'm holding on by a thread. And one of the things that keeps me going, and I know it's going to sound absolutely corny, one of the things that keeps me going is those of you, that percentage of you that will watch my stuff no matter what, regardless of whatever subject I talk about, whether it's related to Call of Duty or not. It's those of you that keep me going. Or for those of you that say that you absolutely love my content, or sometimes when I even get the ultimate compliment, which is like people that are saying, I love how you keep it real, or people that are saying, you know, I like things like that. I mean, it's I don't want to talk good about myself or anything like that. That's not up to me. That's up to you guys. But I'm just giving you guys examples of what some people have been saying in the comment section. And that's what's keeping me going. And it really is a shame for me to say that it's a thread that's keeping me going, but it's just that, you know, when you see everything going on around you, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, beyond just the commentary that this commentary here, you know, it's like sometimes you're just like, it's really hard to stick around. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. So hate on me if you want, but this is my thought process. These are my thoughts, and this is how I feel. And that's it, guys. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did, at least to a certain extent. Let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.